A new way to catch criminals in Canton. Why businesses are hopeful new security cameras could help deter crime. Lawmakers working to tackle ongoing package thefts across the state. The new legislation to take on porch pirates. Republicans and Democrats argue over school choice in Maryland. Why parents say their kids need action now.
Live from WBFF in Baltimore, this is Fox 45 News at 6.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mary Bubala. New security cameras are going up in Canton to help crack down on criminal activity. It is part of a pilot program by the Canton Community Association focusing on public safety. And it comes at a time when new census data shows more people are leaving Baltimore City. Fox 45's Jessica Babb has details.
While many cameras are in the process of being installed, several business owners say they're hoping these cameras will deter crimes like carjackings, thefts, and robberies, making the Canton community feel safer.
Hey, John.
From the lunch rush at John's Carryout to Pie Day sales at Dangerously Delicious Pies.
3.14. It's a mathematical pie day. Everyone loves it.
Businesses in the Canton neighborhood.
It's a very nice place down here. It's very clean and it's happening down here. A lot of people have good times.
Are getting an extra eye to watch out for crime.
So there's no reason these cameras are going to help a lot.
As part of a pilot project, the Canton Community Association is putting up 10 security cameras across the neighborhood. They're working with businesses, including Dangerously Delicious Pies and John's Carryout.
I think it'll keep crime down a bit. You know, just keep mayhem down.
Crime, that's a concern for business owners.
There's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of crime that's starting to come this way. Carjacking. Robberies, so it's starting to become, regular basis.
While the cameras aren't monitored in real time and there is no surveillance, it's footage police can use if there's a problem.
Having more footage available for our police officers is just a win-win, and hopefully it'll just deter some of the bad things that go on.
The project is funded through a $100,000 state grant.
I feel like personally the added security is just a benefit for everybody in this area.
Especially at a time when more people are leaving Baltimore City. New census data shows Baltimore City's population has been shrinking for years. In 2020, there were about 583,000 people in the city. In 2022, that number dropped to about 569,000. And in 2023, it dropped again to about 565,000.
I'm not surprised at all, but hopefully this will help. If the crime comes down a little bit, they're going to think twice about moving out.
And while there's many reasons why someone might leave.
And I think it's natural for people to want to move somewhere that they feel safe. I'm hoping that these cameras help because we like to see the young professionals move into the area.
The Canton Community Association says they're seeking additional grant funding to expand the program and add more cameras. In Baltimore City, Jessica Babb, Fox 45 News.
As crime continues throughout the city, Maryland lawmakers are looking to stop porch pirates. We have heard from residents who say packages are often taken off their porches near Patterson Park. It's stories like these that led to the introduction of the Porch Piracy Act in Annapolis. It seeks to mirror federal law by making package theft a felony with imprisonment up to 5 years.
This is the quality of life bill.
Got to be like flash, like lightning fast to get out there to get it before the porch pirates take it, and that's not right.
Has only gone through first reading in committee. An old problem may be making a comeback with warmer weather. Our camera spotted a Squeegee kid on the corner of Lombard and President Streets. That intersection is part of an enforcement zone under the Squeegee Collaborative Plan. And it comes just a day after our cameras caught a group of Squeegee kids in the same area. Fox 45 sent questions to Mayor Scott asking, is the Scott administration aware of this? Does the Scott administration plan to get more aggressive about Squeegee outreach now that the weather is getting warmer? In response to yesterday's Squeegee kids, the mayor's office said it was aware of the Squeegee kids in the restricted areas and that the Squeegee Collaborative has reduced Squeegee-related incidents year-round. The Squeegee Collaborative Plan went into effect in January of 2023. The mayor created it in response to the death of Timothy Reynolds in 2022. A Squeegee kid was found guilty of voluntary manslaughter in that case. And that summer, Fox 45 News heard from a number of people detailing incidents with Squeegee kids. And although Squeegee kids never left the streets completely, it's important to note Fox 45 News has not heard of any examples of violence involving Squeegee kids since the Squeegee Collaborative Plan took effect. Frustration among some Maryland families and education advocates rising today as lawmakers can't agree on school choice legislation. Republicans are arguing it would help close learning gaps in our state, while Democrats argue it would do the opposite. Tonight, parents are weighing in on that debate. Last year, the state found the education being offered in 25 schools warranted a 1-star rating. 60% of those schools were located in Baltimore City. Under the Right to Learn Act, students attending those 1-star schools would have been allowed to use state funding to attend a school of their choosing. But the measure was recently voted down by state lawmakers. Parents say their children need action now.
I feel like my kids can't come outside and just be kids because it's so dangerous. It's not fair. It's just how things work. But if we can make a change, it would be great.
If that legislation fails to pass this session, Delegate Fisher says he will propose it again next year.
A federal judge agrees today to end former Mayor Katherine Pew's probation early. Pew was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison back in 2020, followed by 3 years of supervised release on fraud and tax evasion charges connected to her Healthy Holly book scandal. Former Baltimore Mayor Katherine Pew was released from prison in 2022. Her probation was supposed to last until spring of 2025. You can find more on Pew's charges on our website, foxbaltimore.com. Mary?
Hi, thank you. New life for the Pimlico racetrack. Late today, we learned the current owner, the Stronach Group, has agreed to donate the track to the state of Maryland. For years, we have heard and seen plans to redevelop the track, but there's been no progress. This new deal will allow the state to take over the project. The House introduced a bill today to start that takeover. Greg Cross, the attorney who helped broker the deal, released a statement saying the state is eager to see improvements to Pimlico and investments in the Park Heights community come to fruition. The statement goes on to say the governor looks forward to working with the General Assembly to finalize this deal and pass the authorizing legislation to make it a reality. City Council President Nick Mosby also reacting to the deal, calling it a monumental win. You can find his full statement on our website, foxbaltimore.com.
Good evening. Happy Pi Day. Happy almost spring. We're 5 days away, but man, you wouldn't know it. Still feels great out there. And I saw a lot of trees looking just like these. The tulips were at least in full bloom. The daffodils are up. It is looking and feeling very much like it. But spring is right around the corner officially starting on Tuesday. Right now, 76 degrees. We saw many areas hitting the upper 70s to even near 80 degrees. Easy when we have southeast winds this time of year to really bring in all that warm air. And there's a look at your highs that we saw today. Again, upper 70s. Some places like Laurel hit 80 degrees today. And of course, anyone that might have been just right there on the water might have just really enjoyed a little bit of a cool air off of the water. All right, next 12 hours, going to be mild, only dropping to the mid to upper 50s tonight. We're not going to have to deal with much of anything until tomorrow. We're tracking rain. We're tracking a major cold blast. We'll be talking about that, how anything, if anything, will impact your weekend coming up in just a bit.
Democrats are losing ground with Black and Hispanic voters. I'm Janae Bowens in Washington with a look at why.
Vice President Harris tours an abortion clinic, how she's working to fulfill a re-election promise. And now you can watch Fox 45 News for free anytime on Amazon Fire TV or Samsung TV Plus. Vice President Kamala Harris toured an abortion clinic in Minnesota today. The visit marks the first time a sitting U.S. president or vice president has ever visited an abortion clinic publicly. And it underscores the Biden administration's re-election promise to restore the abortion rights lost after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022. Since then, Republican-led legislatures in multiple states have implemented their own abortion restrictions. But Harris claims the efforts not only prevent abortion access, but also threaten other health care services for women.
How dare these elected leaders believe they are in a better position to tell women what they need, to tell women what is in their best interest. We have to be a nation that trusts women.
Abortion is currently illegal in more than a dozen states, including Minnesota's neighbors, North Dakota and South Dakota. It is restricted in Iowa and in Wisconsin. Well, some new data shows Democrats are losing ground with some key voting blocs. Sinclair national correspondent Janae Bowens has an in-depth look at the political shift of Black and Latino voters.
For years, Black and Latino voters largely identified as Democrats, but that's starting to change.
I think this shift has been in progress for quite some time.
I think apathy is happening.
According to Gallup, in 2020, Black Americans were 66 points more likely to identify as Democrats than Republicans. In 2023, that number went down to 47. And 4 years ago, Hispanic voters were 28 points more likely to call themselves Democrats. Last year, that number dropped to 12.
I think Hispanics and even the African American community are asking, why aren't we getting financial support for legal residents?
Roy Morales says this shift away from Democrats is because some in these communities feel they're being left out with the migrant crisis, especially in big cities like Chicago, where frustrations are reaching a boiling point.
We're going to get our city back. We're going to stand for our people. We're going to get them out of our communities because they don't deserve to be there.
Dante King says not all Black voters connect with the civil rights movement, which is often used when courting them. He thinks more Black celebrities embracing former President Donald Trump is a factor too.
His alliance with Kanye West, even Lil Wayne saying that he was a supporter of Donald Trump. And many of these people have lots of followers.
Last month's Time Siena poll found 23% of Black voters say they support Trump. In 2020, he received 12% of the Black vote, according to exit polls. The Times poll also showed Trump leading President Joe Biden by 6 points among Hispanic voters. In 2020, Biden won Hispanic voters by 33 points. Now, Mary, the former president seized the opportunity here and is courting both Black and Latino voters. Now, Biden is doing the same, but many Democrats I spoke with seem to be skeptical of these polls, and they think Biden is going to win big with both groups.
And Janae, I'm curious how the parties are courting these voters.
Yeah, so Biden will have a fundraiser with former presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. And Hillary Clinton and Lin-Manuel Miranda are hosting a fundraiser for Biden, too. And Trump is visiting key battleground states like Nevada and doing his best to specifically appeal to working-class Latinos. Now, the campaign has also bought radio ads targeted at Black voters. And, of course, the candidates have 235 days to make their case. Mary?
All really interesting data from you tonight. Janae Bowens in D.C., thank you. Well, some new legislation from Senator Bernie Sanders seeks to shorten the work week to 32 hours with no loss in pay. The independent senator argues the change is necessary to ensure the working class benefits from recent advancements in technology. He cites federal data showing productivity outpacing wage growth in recent decades. The bill has received endorsements from several labor unions, including the United Auto Workers.
And I know what people and many in this room will say. They'll say people just don't want to work, or working class people are lazy. But the truth is, working class people aren't lazy. They're fed up. They're fed up with being left behind and stripped of dignity as wealth inequality in this nation, this world spirals out of control.
California Congressman Mark Takano is unveiling companion legislation in the House. He has pushed for a 32-hour work week in previous sessions, but last year's attempt never made it out of committee.
Good evening. Let's take a look at triple cast. On the left, the radar is lit up. Back there is a strong storm system, and that is impacting the central and midwestern United States. that system is on the way. In the meantime, on the right side, we're doing great. We're seeing sunshine. We're seeing the temperatures very warm. It has just been spectacular. So I'm very happy to say it's great spring weather. But that system that we saw back to the west is going to change everything for us here in the coming days. So get out and enjoy this while you can. It has been wonderful the last few days. All right, we're going to start with the weather headlines. Rain is arriving tomorrow. We're going to be cooler for the weekend, followed by that a big cold blast next week. So let's take you through it right now. Things are just wonderful here. We wish we could just continue this all the way into the weekend, right? Well, a couple things. One, the water temperature continues to climb. Just 2 days, we watched it go from the 40s. Now we're at 51 degrees. So we're starting to see that make it a little bit more pleasant entrance, but this is going to be a very unpleasant entrance here with this system out to the west as it comes our way. We'll be watching as that same storm system that's hitting the west moving our way to bring us rainfall. And that is not the only thing it's going to bring, but we will watch as scattered showers become likely as we head into Friday. They'll be across the area, but luckily not staying here as we move through the weekend. Cooler air is going to make its entrance behind that system. Then even further behind that, we've got a cold blast coming to really push in and take away the even milder temperatures. So here's what we're talking about. Future scan will start tonight. We're in the 60s easily by around 11 o'clock or so, and will still remain likely not much colder than, say, the upper 50s, so still a very quiet night otherwise until we get into the morning hours where we could see first chances for rainfall. Scattered showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder possible. We could see another round of it coming through even through the afternoon. Despite all that and the clouds, we should still hit at least the upper 60s to around 70 degrees, especially if we get any sunshine. Saturday will be cooler, but nice and sunny and dry. We should still hit the 60s here. So it's not going to be an unpleasant weekend, not by a long shot, and even Sunday's looking pretty good. However, a really big spring cold blast is on the way, and spring officially starts in 5 days, and it is not going to feel like it. This colder air very rudely takes away all of our wonderful spring weather, and it is going to be chilly as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. We're talking about temperatures at night could be below freezing, so get ready for that. Luckily, it looks like we at least return to a little bit more milder or average temperatures as we move into late next week. But this roller coaster takes two sharp dips. The first arrives as we move into Saturday with temperatures dropping to the 60s for highs, but then another dip, and this is the unpleasant one, as we move into Monday and Tuesday where temperatures dip to 50s for highs, even 40s for highs on Tuesday, well below the average where we're normally around 55 degrees. So that is going to be, a little bit unpleasant or refreshing. Just depends on how you look at it, I guess. All right, here's your weekend now. Saturday, sunshine, but we're in the 60s. Sunday, a few more clouds, but at least, again, we're nice and dry, 64 degrees. We'll be back here in just a bit with a look at your 10-day forecast.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Snow is the story of the day in Colorado. Nearly 18 inches was already on the ground south of Denver early this morning. Several feet could fall in the mountains by tomorrow. Severe storms in Tulsa last night generated an incredible amount of lightning captured in this amazing photo. And smoke from a prescribed burn blocks part of yesterday's sunset in Jonesboro, Tennessee.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on TikTok.
A Prince George's County teen admits to shooting a loaded gun on a bus. We'll have an update on the Baby K case from Upper Marlboro. A teen admits to jumping on a Prince George's County school bus and pulling the trigger of a loaded gun 3 times, trying to kill another student. Brad Bell with our Sinclair sister station in D.C. has the latest in the case of baby Kay.
The crime made national headlines. It was an attempted point-blank murder on a middle school bus. Then 15-year-old Caden Holland caught on camera a child with a gun trying to kill a 14-year-old child. He was charged as an adult, and last week a judge ruled that based on his history of violence dating to first grade, he should be tried as an adult. Today in Prince George's County Courthouse, Holland admitting his guilt, answering questions from the judge with "yes, sir," or "yes, your honor." He could have been sentenced to life, but the state will ask for a sentence of 60 years with all but 25 years suspended, meaning he could be released when he is 41 years old. State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy calling the story of this case and this child one of failures in the community and in Holland's family.
This is a cautionary tale. This is a cautionary tale. There are so many kids, there's so many Mr. Hollands out there. I'm concerned about their safety and I'm concerned about the safety of our community. But parents, you have the power to make the difference. I don't want to have to make decisions or recommendations about your child's future. You should be the one that does that. But the only way that you're going to be in that position is by taking responsibility for your children.
Now, Braveboy saying that Holland was failed by his family, by the school system, by the Department of Juvenile Services, all of whom could have potentially steered him right. Now, he is also a suspect in a murder in the District of Columbia, but under D.C. law, he can only be charged as a juvenile there, and his sentence in Maryland will likely take him well beyond the age of juvenile jurisdiction, meaning that he will likely never face a judge for that alleged crime. In Upper Marlboro, Brad Bell, Fox 45 News.
Okay, here's a look at your 10-day forecast. Some good news, some not so good news in there. The good news is at least our weekend's nice and dry. We'll be in the mid-60s or so for highs. A few more clouds on Sunday, but the cold really makes its very rude entrance on Monday and Tuesday. The first start of spring, the first day of spring on Tuesday. 46 for a high temperature. At least we're nice and dry next week. We'll start to see temperatures recovering. It looks like our next chance of a real storm system may not arrive until later next week.
Well, finally tonight, as you may have noticed, today is the 14th day of the 3rd month. Those digits 3, 1, 4 are special. Yes, because they make March 14th National Pie Day. Not pie as in apple pie or pizza pie, but pi as in the mathematical constant 3.14, represented by the Greek letter pi. And even though it's unrelated to dessert, many celebrate by baking and eating some delicious pies or cookies. That's all for Fox 45 News at 6. Family Feud's next. We'll see you back here for the news at 10 tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.